This is News Channel 8 at 6 with Ann Nyberg, Brian Burnell, Noah Finn Sports, and Geoff Fox with weather.
We have a go for engine start. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Booster ignition and liftoff of Discovery with a crew of 6 astronaut heroes and 1 American legend.
A legendary liftoff into space, and America is proud. Good evening, everybody. We stopped what we were doing this afternoon to watch history.
That American legend, 77-year-old Senator John Glenn, is back in orbit tonight. 36 years ago, he was the first American to orbit the Earth. This time, he becomes the oldest person ever in space. He and 6 other astronauts, American heroes you heard them called, are on a 9-day mission on the Space Shuttle Discovery. News Channel 8's Geoff Fox is live at the Kennedy Space Center in Florida with more. Good evening, Geoff.
Good evening, Brian. Good evening, Ann. You know, if something really great happens in your lifetime, often people will tell you it's a once-in-a-lifetime experience. But if you're really lucky, sometimes you can have a twice-in-a-lifetime experience.
2, 1. Booster ignition and liftoff of Discovery with a...
We're going to do things a little differently on this story. We're going to start at the end, because that's the reason the world was watching Cape Canaveral today, the launch of STS-95 and the return of John Glenn to orbit. Even for the Kennedy Space Center, home to better than 90 shuttle launches, this was unusual. The president was coming, and more importantly, for the first time ever, a genuine American hero, an icon, was on board. We were advised, and wisely so, to get here early. Traffic was horrendous. And then came the security. You expect NASA to be careful about who they let in the center, but today we were stopped 3 separate times, our passes matched with photo IDs. Meanwhile, John Glenn was suiting up and getting strapped in the middle seat on middeck, where he would experience 3 Gs on the way up, a lot less than the 7 Gs of Friendship 7. The clock behind me is pretty misleading most of the time. Yesterday when I was in front of it, it said T-minus 11 hours. See, there are a number of built-in holds in the countdown. The last one is at 9 minutes before launch, and we held a long time for that one because of problems with cabin pressure. But as you can see now, the clock is running, and in less than 9 minutes, the shuttle will be taking off. At least that was the plan.
Yes, sir. We need to hold the clock at T-minus 5 minutes.
A small plane flying too close to the shuttle stopped the clock again until it could be escorted away. But delays are a John Glenn tradition. In 1962, there were 10 false starts before he finally took off. Within a few moments, the clock had started again. Till now, it's been a lot of excitement, a lot of fun. But as the engines light off, you got to remember, this is dangerous business. So one last time, Godspeed, John Glenn. Godspeed, Discovery. Oh, my. Now, Brian and Ann, everything looks pretty good, but there was one problem, and I want you to watch a piece of tape as we roll this. Take a look at the left side of the screen near the nozzle. You're going to see a little rectangle that is going to come down, and we're going to stop it for you so you can see that is a piece or possibly the entire door that covers the drag chute. That's used to help slow down the shuttle when it lands, which will happen a week from Saturday. The folks here at NASA say the first 50 shuttle missions went off without a drag chute at all, so they don't expect it to cause any trouble. But believe me, they're going to work through this problem and make sure they know exactly what it is that went wrong and what fell off there around the nozzle right at takeoff.
Geoff, you've been at a lot of launches. What was different about today's?
I was telling a couple of people before, I have to come to a launch and not be working, because when I go to the launch, my back is always to it when the engines light up. This one did not seem quite as loud, quite as thumping on your chest. But everybody oohs and ahs. It's an amazing thing, and about 15 seconds into it, you want to go and look at it and say, come down, I want to see it happen again.
And with
it's unbelievable.
With John Glenn on board, your feelings?
You know, I have mixed emotions because I feel bad for Story Musgrave, who until today was the oldest astronaut. I think that maybe he was passed over for the wrong reasons. But John Glenn's an American hero. There's very little you can say bad about him.
And not much is being said bad about it tonight. Thank you, Geoff.
All right, Brian.
Well, the Discovery launch is causing a lot of